And we are live. Wits and Wagers, Thursday afternoon, March 2022. The panel is here. Mr. Carson Shear, I know you're rocking a nice little orange shirt today, Mr. Carson Shear.
Yep.
There it is,
Gotta
baby.
represent the show.
There you go, baby. What's going on, Carson? How's everything?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to talk some sports with you guys. Believe it or not, Selection Sunday is just over a week away. We got the conference tournaments coming up, and it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Mr. Joey Clams, our handicapper, Mr. Joey Clams. What's going on?
I'm known. In all the five boroughs, I'm known. Ask anybody about Lefty from Mulberry Street. How you doing? How you feeling? Mickey the Peppers.
I heard you did a little cooking tonight.
Yeah, just made my daughter a nice ribeye steak on the frying pan, old school. You know, both of them. I got two of them. I got to do another one later. She's going down tomorrow. They leave. Keene softball leaves tomorrow morning, 4:30 in the morning for Myrtle Beach.
There you go.
They went 2-1 in North Carolina last week. They're going down to Myrtle Beach for 10 days and Virginia.
There you go.
Open up, they open
luck.
up the season.
Good luck to
Nice.
the Cougars.
Yeah.
John Beelan saying, good evening, fellas. Hopefully no cramps on this show tonight. Leading to that, Mr. Cramp, Mr.
JB.
Siciliano.
JB, how you doing?
Beelan cramp this.
What's going on, sis?
Not much. Mr. Billy never had a cramp in his life because he's not an athlete.
Ooh. Throwing smoke tonight. Throwing smoke. And
Well, when you come at me, you know you're getting smoke. So
There you
that's-
go.
Sis, how'd that other horse do in the seventh?
Ran out.
The one in the fifth came in two?
Still running. Yeah.
No, well, you said he came in second, right?
The first one did. The other one's still
All
running.
right, so he hit the board. You made a couple of dollars with that.
Mhm.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, what's going on? And you know what, Kenny, throw that hat away because I'm sick of that team. You know what? Just keep tanking now. 16-point
That's
lead.
why I went. Yeah, take it.
Tank it. Tank
Take
it.
it. Get Kofi Cockburn, or the kid from Wisconsin. Those are the two people I want.
They got a tank. I mean, this is disgusting. Everybody but RJ Barrett's on the table.
And bring Zion. Bring Zion.
Yeah,
in our
bring
trade,
Zion.
so-
I want Zion.
Yeah, with the crutches and his walker.
Hey, you got nothing to lose if you're the Knicks. It can't get worse.
Beelan is coming out firing tonight saying, sis, I got the Tiger Bomb ready, bud.
Listen, Balin, if you can't afford a pair of scissors, go to the barbers and get yourself a hairdo because you're starting to look like Zachary from the old show on channel PIX back in the day. You got to do something with that hair.
What show? Wait, Saved by the Bell?
No. The name of the you don't remember this. You probably weren't even born. The name of the show was Zachary. It was on after school at like
No idea.
4:30. Yeah, he used to come out in his cave, but he had the wild head like Beelan with hair going all over, 3 different colors. Oh yeah. All
right, what do we got on the agenda tonight, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Little pre-week. Figure we'd do some college basketball talk and some picks. You know, we got the tournaments coming up soon. Combine started today, so
I'm
we're
watching it right now. Watching it right now.
Talk some college football. I got a little NFL type of game for you guys, and what do you guys feel like starting with? I'll give Sis the opportunity to pick college football, NFL, or college basketball. Sis.
Let's start with college football tonight. Let's change it up a little bit.
Good. Stay the college basketball for last. I got some handicapping tips for everybody.
Okay.
All right, Sis. So the combine started today. College football question I got for you. 1, are you watching it? Gonna watch it. And 2, what position are you looking forward to watching the most if you are watching?
Yeah, like I always do. I'll probably start watching it tomorrow. You know me. I watch all the linebackers to see how big they are, what kind of 40s they're running. And, I saw today a lot of teams will not take a linebacker with their first pick. And I think sometimes that can be a mistake, but we'll see what happens with that. But that's what I always focus. I'm not worried. I don't care about the quarterbacks, the running backs, wide receivers, a dime a dozen, and I focus on the linebackers. Mm-hmm.
Carson, I'll give you the same question.
I think running backs, I hate to toot my own horn, but my guy Kenneth Walker III, he's going to be a household name, especially when he was in college football. He won the Doak Walker Award. You're going to see him tear it up on the field this year in the NFL. I feel like according to a lot of mock drafts, they're taking him in the second, third round. I think that's way too late. I think whoever gets him is going to immediately impact their team. The running back class is solid this year as well, but I think Kenneth Walker, man, just watch out for that name.
Agree. Kurt, you said you're watching it now. What positions are you looking forward to seeing?
I like all the skill positions, to be honest with you. I am interested in the linebackers, though, because like I said, I think the kid Dean and Lloyd, I think it's one, again, I'm very high on Denver's defense, but they do need that middle linebacker, that athletic middle linebacker. And they're comparing, yesterday I heard somebody compared the kid Lloyd from Utah to Devin White. And that's pretty damn good comparison. So I'm excited to watch Dean and Lloyd and see what they do in the combine. So middle linebacker.
Me, it's going to be same linebacker and edge rushers. I want to see who's going to be fast on the edge rushers when they run their 40s. Because I know us as Giant fans, we need edge rushing help. So I want to see how fast the offensive linemen can run. I want to see the big boys, and I want to see the guys that maybe late first round or second round picks. There's a good 4 or 5 guys I'm really looking forward to watching in this draft, because like Sis said yesterday, your drafts are won in the mid rounds,
right?
Third, fourth round. So that's what I want to see, like the guys that aren't projected for first round, who has a good showing in the combine on a name where I might not think of in the first round. So I want to see who's going to sneak up boards here and be a sleeper. How about you, Clamps? You gonna watch the combine at all?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw it on, and I'm looking for the edge rushers and the offensive linemen. I just want to let Carson know about the running backs. You know what it is with the second and third round they take them, because you know why? They're only a one contract position right now, running back. You're gonna get one contract out of them, and it's with the salary caps and everything like that. So running backs, you could use a 3-headed monster. And Bill Walsh, the genius, always says, wide receivers and running backs, we put them at the end of our draft board. We build up front. We build the wall, and we got to go get the quarterback. And that's what Parcells and Bill Walsh did. And everybody will say, well, he picked Jerry Rice, with the first round pick, and he traded up for him. But they already won a couple of Super Bowls, and they needed that position player. You already won, so and look what happened. But yeah, I'll be watching for that. I like to watch the skill positions too, to see how fast they are and everything like that.
One more combine question. This has to do with Joey's Jets.
By the way, Beelin's watching it. Beelin just said the kid Burks, the receiver, from I believe
was high on Burks as a
4.55, 4.5. He ran a 4.5.
Big. Wow. He reminds me of Derek Metcalf type.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good. Another question I had for the combine. I'll give Joey the pleasure of answering this one first, because it has to do with his Jets. I was watching ESPN, I believe it was Get Up yesterday, and they said Robert Saleh is not at the combine. Yet the Jets have 2 top 10 picks. And he said he's just more concentrated on free agency right now, and guys they got to re-sign over the combine. Yet they have 2 first-round picks, so he sent the position coaches out there to scout the combine. What are your thoughts on that, Joe? Should your coach be there at the combine?
Yeah, I think he should be there, but Joe Douglas is there, and listen, they got to get a rusher. They got to get an edge rusher. And Tittle from Oregon looks like he might be there for them. You have to grab him. He's a game changer. So he's a defensive guy, Salas. He already, you know what? He already knows he's going to go get a defensive guy with that first pick that he's got with the 4th pick.
See, I agree with you, but him not there, they need to protect Mr. Zach Wilson too. And like Beelan said, get him a weapon. So maybe he knows they're going offense, and he's like, all right, you guys just go. You guys aren't picking defense in the first round.
We got 2 picks. and there's an offensive lineman. There's a left tackle from NC State. He's too slow to be the left tackle. If you say his name, I forget his name off the head.
We call him Icky.
You can move him to guard. He might be there for the seventh. He might be there for their second pick in the first round, or unless they trade up. But the first pick, if Tiddlebull's there from Oregon, he's a game changer. You got to get him. They haven't had an edge rusher since Abrams.
I'll go to Kurt next, but see, my opinion on it is that if he's not there, they're not getting the position he wanted on defense. I think they're going to get a receiver.
A couple things real quick.
Absolutely. If they do that, then it's the same old Jets.
Yeah.
You've got to protect the quarterback and tackle the quarterback.
Beelan's saying Saleh is talking with the agents. I like coaches talking with them. And he said, and I just watched the kid Dotson, the Penn State receiver, just ran a 4.41.
He's fast. Kurt, what are your thoughts on Saleh? I think I would want him there. I'll
be honest with you. And you know what? I know like Dave and Matt, those guys are going to be like, oh, the Rams are. I mean, listen, I'm not a Ram fan, but the Rams are changing this game. Like they're not going. I mean, for what?
I don't care about the Rams.
Okay, but here's my thing. Let's be totally honest.
A guy who's got 2 first-round picks.
Okay, but here's my thing.
4 and 10.
Do you think the coach is going to sit there from 4 o'clock to 11 o'clock every night and watch everybody run? I mean, they know who they want. They can break it. They can watch this just like we're watching it. They can get into a Zoom interview. They can interview they're going to bring people into the field. I don't think it's a big deal. I watched this with Nathaniel Hackett. He's on 87 shows. He's interviewing here, interviewing there. It's like a free for all. Like it's a party atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it. You got everybody else there.
Yeah.
It's solid.
I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest. Free agency starts in 2 weeks.
My take on it is, I compare it to fantasy football. You got your fantasy football teams, your players who are in every week making changes, doing this and that, and then you got your teams that don't care.
But Kenny, I want to say one more thing, Kenny. One more thing about it is you're talking about a head coach, right? All we heard last year, and I don't know who's fans of him on the panel. I'm a huge Kyle Shanahan fan, but all we heard last year was Kyle Shanahan loved Mac Jones. The front office loved Trey Lance. Who won out? So really, you really think Saleh is making the decision on who they're picking? He doesn't.
Joe Douglas.
It's Joe Douglas, and it's the GM. You know what? The GM belongs there. So just like they said last year, Lynch wanted one guy, Shanahan wanted one guy. Who won out? Trey Lance with the 49er front office.
Until Salas becomes a Sean Payton.
Right, he's not going to have a say.
Or
right.
Belichick. Then
I want to get Sis and Carson's thoughts, and then we can debate a couple more minutes on this. But Sis, what are your thoughts? Should the head coach be there, especially when you got 2 top 10 picks?
Again, I think with all this technology out there, is it a big deal? I'm not sure, but I'm old school. If I'm the head coach of one of these pro teams, my ass would be in the stands. Yeah, for sure.
I agree. How about it, Carson? You're a newer generation. What are your thoughts on it? How would you feel if Dan Campbell wasn't there? Let me rephrase that question to you.
I would want my coach to be there watching the prospects in action. But again, in the Jets situation, when you already know who you're picking with 4th and 10, those guys probably aren't going to be at the combine. There's a reason why Kayvon, Aiden, the top guys who know exactly they're going to be guaranteed top 5, top 10 picks, why would they jeopardize losing their draft stock and having a bad combine versus just skipping out? So I think that's kind of what they're doing. If they already have their mind set on a certain players who aren't in the combine, I don't see an issue why. And like you guys just said, they're probably watching it the same way we are, just on TV or with Zoom calls or whatever they're doing. That's basically what happened when COVID was happening. They had all these guys submit their workouts on a Zoom meeting and didn't have anything in person. So I don't have a problem with it, especially in the Jets case where I think they already know where they're going, what positions they need to fill, and probably the guys who they're going to take aren't even at the combine.
See, the reason why I have sort of a problem with it is because you don't see everything you see on TV. And you all know there's behind the scenes stuff that you see when you're there. There's interviews Okay, you're saying to do a Zoom interview, but I want to see an interview face to face, just like when you go in for an interview as a head coaching job or an interview for a job. You're going to sit with me eye to eye, and I'm going to ask you some
Right,
questions.
but you're also going to have, I don't know, what is it, 40 or 60 people fly out to New York and come and meet them and meet the whole crew. So
I understand there's pro day and all, but like Sis said, old school. Bill Belichick's there every year. If Bill Belichick's there every year, Robert Saleh should be there. That's how I feel on it.
You know what?
I know some of you don't have a problem with
it. If I'm
it.
a head coach, I want to be hands-on. I would be there. I would be there, but I don't have a problem if he's not there because I put my hands more in Joe Douglas making the decision than Salah.
Right.
This is Joe Douglas's team. Salah, I'm not big on him yet. I'm not. Joe Douglas is the guy that was supposed to build this team up, and he's a guru with the offensive defensive line, and that's what he does, and that's what.
We asked Sis this last question on it. That this Sis, again, I'm disagreeing, friendly disagreement, respectful disagreement with Kurt and Clams. Carson said you didn't really have a problem with it. You're old school, Sis. I'm more on the old school vibe with you here. My question to you is, you as a head coach, Sis, you're my head coach. I'm the GM. I know Kurt said Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, but you as a defensive head coach, Sis, what are your thoughts on Kayvon Thibodeau? Should we take him or should we take the linebacker out of Utah? Who do you like better? Aren't you going to be there to give that input on defense? That's why I really don't think they're going defense. Don't be surprised if you get all offense in this draft, Joe.
Yeah, well, that part of the communication is again very, very, very big. But like Kurt said before, and I agree with him, basically these general managers, and you saw with the Giants, they're unfortunately half of them never even played a sport, and they're making franchise calls. I mean, I kind of think it's ridiculous. Not that I think if you were a great player or whatever that you're going to be a great coach, but I think it helps to know the game inside out.
Yep.
So.
By the way, Carson, they just showed Dan Campbell, and he was rocking a Tiger baseball hat.
Nice.
So Dan Campbell is there, Kenny.
That's the only baseball talk tonight we're getting.
But Kenny, see, here's the thing, though, real quick. Going back to what you just said with Sis, right? Because you asked Sis a question. So say, like, I'm the GM and Sis is the head coach, right? So what they want is, hey, what do you guys think? Thibodeau. All right, we both want we both want. I don't know. We both want Matt Corral as our quarterback. What do you think? Yeah. All right, good. The problem is, though, now is like if I want Matt Corral, Sis wants Malik Willis. The GM's making that call.
GM's making the call, but
Right.
I still think it's lazy from the head coach not to be there.
Okay.
Lazy. That's my feeling on it. Because you could say, yeah, he's talking to agents and stuff like that, but he ain't talking to agents for 8 hours. Those coaches and GMs are at the combine 8 hours a day because it's a full-time job. But we all work 8-hour jobs, right? I work 12 hours.
Let me ask this. I'm going to start with Carson.
I just want to piggyback.
You got to sit at the combine for 6 hours. Boo-hoo-hoo! You're making millions. Go do it.
You see what the problem is, like with the disconnection. If the coach doesn't have that much credit yet, the GM's making the call. That was the problem in Miami. Flores, he wanted Herbert. He didn't want Tua.
Right.
Yeah. But Belichick and Payton, they're going to make the decisions. They're going to have say. When Parcells couldn't have, what did Parcells say? You're going to make me make me cook the meal, but you're not going to make me shop for the groceries. That's a guy that has, he could say that. So. It's sometimes it ain't the GM. The GM like Shanahan, like what you saying, Kurt. He didn't want Lance.
No, he wanted Mac Jones.
Yes.
Right. Now
that's why Jimmy G's coming back.
Let me ask you this. I'll start with Carson, right? And this is where a lot of people, where you sit there, it's 8 hours, it's this, Treylon Burks is running in shorts, jumping and hitting a thing. But somebody was on the other day and he made the greatest point. Where in the world are you running, even a 40-yard sprint and jumping up and doing a high jump. Like, you don't even do that. You know, like, you watch film, right? You watch film. What the guy's throwing in a pro day. First off, his offensive coordinator, his head coach, wrote up a script. He's throwing to his receivers. They've worked it. They've done it. What are you going to do now when the guy's overloading blitzing to the right and he's rolling to his left? And watch film. Watch what he did versus Penn State. Not watch what he's doing in shorts. Carson, agree or disagree with me on that?
Yeah, I would agree. And I think I agree and disagree. I think the combine can be good for players who are trying to make a roster. But again, going back to my point earlier, if you're already solidified, and then you know in your mind you're going to be a first rounder, why would you jeopardize going to the combine and having a bad combine and then it makes
Screw
you look
yourself.
bad?
Exactly.
When the drills are great, and I understand how they can implement them. And he ran a 4.4, so he must be really good, but he hasn't caught a ball yet, and hasn't really run a route in the NFL yet. But you're going to judge a kid based on how fast he is when there's so many other factors involved. So I get some of the drills that they do, but for the most part, all that matters is, can you do it in a game? And that's the only thing that really matters with all these guys trying out and trying to make a roster. So I think it's kind of ridiculous that they have to do all these extra steps when they've already done it all year long on the college football field.
Yeah.
But I get why it exists, though, because all these guys who are kind of third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounders trying to make their case and try to rise up their stock.
Good point. Sis, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, what do if you were a talent evaluator, you're more worried about what they're doing in shorts or what they did on film live where you saw them play live football?
No, I'm going to agree with you on as far as on film, but where I'm going to disagree respectively is that vertical jump is really important for two reasons, okay? If you're a receiver, they're going to want to see how high you can get up, especially – a shorter guy covering you, yada, yada, yada. As for defensively, if you're a linebacker, same thing. They want to see if you can get up in the air, maybe if you're a lineman or whatever, and you deflect passes. So I think that vertical jump is very important as far as these combine goes. Everybody's running 4.4, 4.5. To me, you could run 4.2. That's not going to make you a football player,
right?
Okay. What's in the middle of your chest is what's going to make you a football player. But that's my take on that.
That's a great point.
And I got two questions. I'll go instead of the same one. I'll go Kenny and Clams real quick. I'll start with Kenny. This whole thing with this Kenny Pickett. There have been people on the radio. I've been listening all week, and they're saying, listen, it's true, man. NFL balls are bigger. If you look at him, he struggled in the Senior Bowl with the weather, with the rain. So what's your thoughts on this whole thing with Kenny Pickett? If he went into the NFL tomorrow, he would have the smallest hands in the NFL tomorrow being in there. What's your thoughts on that, Kenny?
I think hands are big for you got to have big hands to be a good quarterback because, like you said, those footballs are bigger. I said it from day one. I don't think this kid's going to be really good. I think he could be the quarterback that's the bust in this first round. That's my opinion on him, and I felt like that from day one. So I personally don't like Kenny Pickett as a quarterback. I hope I'm wrong about him. I got nothing against the kid. I hope he does succeed, as long as he's not on the Washington football team and succeeding. So the Commanders, I'm good. So I just hope I'm wrong about him, but I could see him being a bust, potential bust.
Clams, what do you think about that?
Well, you know what? This draft with the quarterbacks, there's really no first round. This draft, the second, third, and fourth round is plus in here. And, they examine. You know what it is? They go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and they examine everything. They psychology, sit down. They talk about everything in their hand. They're saying he's double-jointed with his hands. Oh, you know what? After a while, I don't even want to listen to it. Let's see what the kid does on the field and see what he does in summer camp. That's what you got to go by. You can't go by anything else. And like what Mike Tyson says, say about these combines, you're running in shorts and things. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Plan changes.
All right, Kerry, you got anything else? Or
Nope, whatever else you want.
You guys want anything else college football, guys? Or combine?
All I'm going to say is, again, everybody looks good in shorts, man. Once you put the pads on, it's a whole different story.
They should run the 40 in pads. That then you could get a little more.
Well, they were saying today too something about this kid Pickett. His hands are 8.5 in circumference, and like Joey Clams, he nailed it. They measure your toes. They measure this. Look at what they measure Tom Brady. He was 199th whatever pick.
Right.
He looked like a Biafra case when they were his shoulders were round, and so again you can't go by that. You just can't do it. That's why.
Hey, sis, what'd you say? You said whatever between your ribs.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's all about your heart. And again, real quick, I remember just psychologically when I got measured at the Giants, I knew I wasn't 6'3", but the coach got distracted or whatever. So when they were measuring me, I went up on my toes, and I hear the guy come back, and he goes, "Siciliano, 6'3.5". I was laughing my ass off because obviously I cheated so that they would think I was bigger. It's again, look at Sam Mills, God rest his soul.
Yeah, right.
Montclair State, that kid is a perfect, and I've seen the kid play. I missed him by 1 year or two playing against him at Seton Hall. We used to play Montclair, whatever. That's a perfect example of what we're talking about tonight. You cannot measure what was in that kid's chest.
And it's listen, and it's up to the team that drafts you to put the quarterback in a better position to his ability. Don't go in there as a well. You're gonna have to learn my system. You're gonna have to adjust to what he does best.
Great point.
Absolutely.
Here's what I'm gonna get to. Everybody's gonna, throw dust, throw dirt on it. But Mitch Trubisky, he went to the playoffs twice, and he has a winning record. Look what when he left. Did Nagy do anything good? Nagy's terrible. You got to put Trubisky's a quarterback. He's not a pocket quarterback. You got to have him on the run. That's where he does his damage. That's what you have to do. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. He cannot throw from the pocket. That's the guy that's got to throw on the run. You have to adjust to what. If you draft a quarterback, you have to use what's their best ability when you draft them. Just don't change them because it's not going to work.
I agree. Totally agree. And you know what? It's what we argue for all the time. And it's why, again, I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan, but I give Baltimore all the credit in the world because they're really running a high school college offense with them because it's what fits them. And I give Baltimore credit. They went 100% in, and it's what he's successful. You can't put him in, a New England Patriot offense. I mean, he'd be lost, but I give him credit.
Yep.
So true. Want to move on, Kurt, to different
whatever
topic?
else. Yep.
All right, guys, let's do a little NFL. I call it a game. So I got this off of ESPN today. They did something called Better, Worse, or the Same, and I got 5 quarterbacks listed with a couple teams for each one. If they would be better on this new team, the same on this new team, or worse on this new team. For example, we're going to start with Kyler Murray, Kurt, and I'll go the order I see it on my screen. So it's you, Sis, Carson, Joey.
Okay.
Will Kyler Murray will the 49ers be better with Kyler Murray, the same with Kyler Murray, or worse this season if they had Kyler Murray as their quarterback?
I'm going to say worse because he doesn't fit that West Coast. He doesn't fit the Shanahan offense.
You're going worse. Sis, better, same, or the worse?
Kurt just nailed it. He doesn't fit that offense at all.
Mm-hmm. And I'll agree with you guys. I went more same, but now I'm leaning towards worse. So, okay. Carson, what about you? Better, same, or worse with Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, so better.
Fair enough. And Clams.
I'm down on Kyler Murray. I think he's a little bit of a disappointment. I'm going to say worse. Who came in? The backup quarterback came in and won a couple of games on the road. Kyler Murray went 4-7 down the end of the season. I don't think he's all that.
Okay. Kurt, one more team for Kyler Murray. The Eagles, would they be better, the same, or worse with Kyler Murray?
They'd be better because they let him run around a little, almost like a Jalen Hurts, and he's a lot better than Jalen Hurts. So I would like him on the Eagles.
I'm gonna go instantly same. Like if it was like I think it's gonna take a little time, but potential to be better. I think they would be the same right now. Sis.
Again, I think Kurt just nailed it. To me, Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts are pretty much the same quarterback. The difference is Jalen Hurts is a little bit bigger and a little bit, built better. And, that's my opinion. But they're pretty much the same guy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carson.
You saw on Kyler Murray?
Yeah, Kyler Murray for the Eagles.
Oh, for the Eagles. Yeah, again, I go better. I think Kyler Murray, he's in a weird situation. His rookie year, he was unbelievable. He had a down year this year. Still trying to figure out what the Cardinals are, but I think you guys are being too hard on Kyler Murray. I think he's still a stud in this league.
He was the number one pick. You got to remember that. Clams, what is it? Is he better, worse, or same in your opinion?
I think he's the same, and he's fragile. He's a potato chip. He gets hurt. He gets hurt a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's too small. He can't see over the lineman. Like Buddy Ryan says, the small guys, there's a spot for them in football, but it ain't behind the big guys.
Gotcha. We're going to start with Sis with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, Sis, to the Colts. Would they be better, the same, or worse this year?
I'm going to say they would be better.
I'll echo that. I'll say better because of their run game.
Although I think he's going to the Broncos, but go ahead.
I got better right now. I got him better because of the run game, Taylor, and
I love busting Kirk's chops.
Carson, Jimmy G to the Colts.
Yeah, I would go same here. I think Carson Wentz and Jimmy G both have the same talent-wise. I would go same. I don't think it would change much.
Come on, Carson. You want to say he's going to the Broncos. You're afraid of Kurt.
Clams, how about it? Better, worse, same?
I think the Colts would be a little better. I was hoping for Wentz to have a good year because Colts was one of my teams to make it out of the AFC with that running game and that big offensive line for the playoffs. I think Jimmy G will make the team better.
And Mr. Valenti, what about Jimmy G to the Colts?
Listen, I'll say this. Jimmy, again, I have if Jimmy G was my quarterback making $9 to $10 million a year, yeah, I would, but I'm not giving him $33 million.
He's making $25 million this year. 25.
Who?
Garoppolo. 25 would be his, if he gets traded, which he should, which most likely, he'll be making 25 this year, which isn't much in quarterbacks.
I would say they would be a little better. A little better.
Okay.
I mean,
let me ask you something, Kenny. If they get rid of him in San Francisco, who's quarterback in the 49ers?
Trey Lance.
Well, then they're a ready team to win now. He's not ready to play.
Right. Yeah. That's dumb. That's dumb. If I'm the Niners, it's dumb. If I'm the Niners, you can laugh at me all you want. I'm waiting it out. And then when Tampa Bay makes a deal, I'm calling them up and saying, Tom, finish with you in Montana and go get Tom Brady. You can say whatever you want. You're not winning with Trey Lance this year. You're just not.
No, you're not. I agree. Sis, you stole my thunder because the second team on this list for Jimmy Garoppolo was the Broncos, Sis. So you're up. You're up, Sis. Are they better with Drew Lock? Like pretty much like their quarterback situation now, or are they better with Jimmy Garoppolo? That's the question. No Aaron Rodgers in the mix. It's who they have on their roster now. Are they better with Jimmy Garoppolo, the same or worse?
In all honesty, and Kirk can disagree with this, I don't think, in my opinion, that this kid, Drew Lock, has ever really been given the reins and given a true evaluation of what this kid's all about. And I think that's the problem that's facing the Broncos. Because let's say they do go get Aaron Rodgers, okay? You might as well trade this kid. what are you going to hold on to him for? You know, you might as well get rid of him. But again, to give you my last thoughts on this, you never gave the kid a straight up look. You played Teddy Bridgewater, and now, and again, Kirk can laugh. Whatever, I heard this 3 days ago. This new coach is talking about maybe bringing Teddy Bridgewater back. Are you kidding me? No, I'm telling you, I saw that.
The GM said that.
Somebody said it.
Yeah.
No matter who said it, think about what we're talking about.
Kenny, let me go next.
Hold up.
Kirk, go next.
Now let Kirk go.
No,
why would you even entertain the thought of bringing him back?
I honestly, I just think he said the nice thing. There's no way he's coming back. But I'll tell you this, Sis, when you talk about nailing it, Sis hit it out of the park times 100. You know, Drew Lock, and this is where I'm going to say Vic Fangio absolutely destroyed Drew Lock. Vic Fangio and Pat Shurmur. This kid was 4-1 as a rookie under Rick Scangarella, who ran the Kyle Shanahan offense, right? Which is what Nathaniel Hackett ran in Green Bay. 4-1. And when you look at everyone, oh my God, Drew Lock's the next star. He's going to pop. Look at him, right? You put him in this stupid offense with Pat Shurmur, and then Vic Fangio, when his butt was on the line, goes and says, I want Teddy Bridgewater. And it was just the dumbest, stupid move around. Sis, you know what? I'm telling you, Drew Lock will be an NFL starting quarterback. I don't know if it's going to be in Denver. I hope they give him a chance. Because, again, if it's not Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson, I want Drew Lock this year. That's what I want. And see, like you said, Sis, once and for all, put him in this offense and see what he can
just
do.
let him play,
Let
man.
him play.
You know,
and then you see what he's got. Because you don't know what he's got. You know, like if you get Jimmy Garoppolo, you know what Jimmy Garoppolo ain't going to lead you to ain't going to win you a Super Bowl. He's not. Carson Wentz isn't going to do it. Tyrod Taylor's not going to do it. You know what? I'm not going to say Drew Lock's going to do it, but you don't know. He was never given that chance. And to get you, and for you to say Kenny Garoppolo or better off, I'm going to say they're better off with Lock than Garoppolo. But if you asked me Garoppolo or what they had last year, I would take Joey Clams as the quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater was the worst starting quarterback in football last year.
Oh, I got a gun.
The worst.
How many
gun?
How many players?
I got a lefty gun.
Think of this. How many players have we seen over the years when they finally got the chance? All of a sudden, the coaches turned around and were like, "Oh, I never knew he had it in him." And
right.
Well, you never gave him a chance. If you don't put somebody on the field, it doesn't matter what they look like on paper. You got to put the kid on the field.
Somebody made this point, Kenny. I got one more thing, Kenny, and I swear I know we got to get to Carson Sis, but Sis brought up a point. I heard this today. They were talking about Peyton Manning in 2015, right? Would you guys all consider Peyton Manning one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, right?
Absolutely.
In 2015, people are always like, he's done. Look at him. He can't throw anymore. He can't do. But you know why? They forced, and Kubiak forced him and said, we're doing it my way, and running under center, bootlegs. And you know what? Somebody like Peyton Manning couldn't do it. I mean, they got lucky because they had that defense and he made 4, 5, 6 plays a game with his mind and whatever. But even Manning couldn't handle an offense that he can't run that offense. Right. So if you're saying Peyton Manning can't do it, you're going to ask Drew Lock to run Pat Shurmur's offense? It's a joke.
Carson and Clams. I'm still waiting for Kurt's answer, but
about what? What was the answer?
I wasn't expecting it to take 10 minutes to get an answer of him. Are the Broncos better, worse, or the same that this year with Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, I take
worse.
Drew Lock.
Worse.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I would say the same. I would say the same. All joking aside, Carson. Oh, Carson's on mute because you were on so long.
He fell asleep.
Kurt took so long, Carson had to go to mute. Tired of hearing you talk. I'm not joking. Better, worse, or same with Jimmy Garoppolo, Carson?
Same.
And Joey Clams?
I think they're better. I don't agree with Kurt saying that Jimmy G can't win. I mean, you got to look at what the coach in the Super Bowl. They were up by 10 with 7 minutes to go, and against the Rams, I know Jimmy G didn't have a really good game. He makes a couple of bad throws, but those are two games that you should have won. They should have won against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they had another 10-point lead in the playoffs. And to me, that's on the coach. I think the Broncos would be a better team with Jimmy G than they were last year.
But here's the thing, Joe. All right, I can answer you on that one because in that Super Bowl,
in 30 seconds.
All right, Kansas City was up by 7 points, either up by 3 or by 7, and Jimmy G on third down had Emmanuel Sanders wide open, and he overthrew him. So he overthrew a Super Bowl championship.
Yes, sir.
You got to make that throw, and he can't do it.
Yes, he did.
I got one more quarterback, then we'll get into college basketball to wrap the show up tonight. I'll start with Carson. The quarterback I want to bring up is Malik Willis. And I'll start with the Commanders. Are the Commanders, Washington football team, for those who don't know out there, are they better, worse, or the same with Malik Willis?
I really like Taylor Heineke. I think he had a great year with the football team, the Commanders now. I think that's their guy. I think the football team is going to still look for a quarterback, but I like Heineke a lot. I would say I'd say the same, but I think Heineke would be better than Malik Willis.
Clamps.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with somebody who's already been playing. I'm not gonna go with somebody who hasn't proved themselves. And you know what? Nobody's talking about Marcus Mariota. He's out there. He's a good quarterback. He went into Kansas City and won in the playoffs, and he had the lead with 2 minutes to go in the first half against the Patriots.
Okay. Kurt, are they better, worse, or the same with Malik Willis?
No. Not the worst. I mean, listen, You're not playing, Southwest New England State. You're playing the NFL. I saw him in the SEC. He was a mess. Nope.
I'm going to say same. He did, he's shows a little bit of Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray type of him. I think I think in the right situation, he could be a sleeper in the right situation. And Washington could be that situation. Sis, what about you? You think they're better, worse, or the same?
Bring back Doug Williams and Joe Gibbs. No, and all joking aside, I think the same. I'm going to say the same.
Okay. And I got one more team for Carson with Malik Willis. There's been news, and I'm going to bring up his Detroit Lions. Are the Lions better with Malik Willis than Jared Goff?
I tell you what, man,
same.
Jared Goff, I think there's still one more year that we really have to decide whether he's going to be part of our team going forward. But Jared Goff he did not have a good year this year at all. I've seen him throw the ball out of bounds on fourth down, seen him overthrow receivers. It just goes to show how big of a piece Stafford was to the Lions. Malik Willis, I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he has potential, but if I'm the Lions, it can't get any worse than it already is, so take a shot. But I think I would go with same, if not better. But Jared Goff, he's got to show me something this year. If not, then I think he's off. He's going to be gone off the team.
Okay. Clamps, you think they're better, worse, or the same?
I wouldn't think they're better. I would just say the same. And if I'm the Lions, let me build a team before. There's no quarterbacks out there right now to take a shot on. Right, go build that lineup, build the offensive line and build the defensive line, have them in place, and then go get a quarterback. Build a foundation. Don't put it. You can't hang a chandelier with no ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Kurt,
I agree with Carson. I mean, maybe for next year, but I've seen enough of Jared Goff. He's not the future, so. I mean, listen, I would take a shot in the dark because I know Goff ain't going to be the future. But for next year, you're probably better off with Goff. But like Carson's saying, just roll the dice, man. I mean, you're better shot rolling the dice.
There's two teams that come to mind that Malik Willis would be better. Like you said, roll the dice. One is the Lions, in my opinion, and the other one's the Carolina Panthers. I think those two, if they drafted Willis, that would be his best chance to succeed and make the teams better than what they are today. As for every other team, you're looking at the same or worse. So I do have the Lions as being better with Malik Willis.
Let me tell you something about that Panthers coach. He's on the hot seat right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's on the hot seat. They gotta do something. They're missing on all cylinders. He fired his offensive coordinator. They're missing on everything.
All right, well,
this guy's gonna be on the hot seat.
We took a little bit extra time on this. We killed most of the hour. So let's get into college basketball. Kurt, you got some games for us to pick, and then we'll do our top 4 going into the conference tournaments. We'll do our top 4 and our sleeper team.
All right, I'll start this one off with, we'll go with Carson's boys tonight. Michigan State at Ohio State. Ohio State is a 5-point favorite. I'm just going to say this. Ohio State, disgraceful. And you know what? I had them on Sunday at Maryland. They made Maryland look like Gary Williams is Maryland. But then they come back, was it 2 nights ago? Oh, Ohio State at home over Nebraska. And they lose. Ohio State, they did it last year. They will be one and done again this year. I hope, Carson, I hope your Michigan State beats them outright because they're a joke, Ohio State. No way. Michigan State. Carson.
Yeah, this is it's an interesting game because State is in the same similar boat as Ohio State. They got a lot of hype at the beginning of the year, then kind of fell off. Again, Ohio State is in a similar situation like you just mentioned. They lost to Nebraska. Again, they're still ranked, but I could really see this team fall out of the top 25 come next week when the Big Ten tournament rolls around. State was +6 yesterday. Now you said it's +5. So again, this team, I just don't understand where the chemistry's at. We play so much better at home versus on the road. I'm going to go State and the points if I'm lucky, but both of these teams need a big win for their resume heading into March Madness, especially next week for the conference tournament. I'd go State with the points. MSU.
Joey Clams.
Yeah, I don't trust neither one of these teams. Both of them are, been in a disappointment. But just for the show, I would take the points.
Kenny.
Comes down to it. I was talking to Sis the other day. I said there's 2 teams out there that I do not trust, and like you said, Kurt, could be one and done. One of them's Purdue, and the other one's in the Big Ten also. And this is number 1 on my list, and that's Ohio State. So going into a big game, must-win game, I'm going with the better coach. I'm going with the Hall of Fame coach. Tom Izzo will get it done, and they will beat Ohio State on the road and get a big victory and get that resume going into to cash their ticket, win or lose in the Big Ten tournament, cash their ticket into the NCAA tournament with a big win against Ohio State.
Sis, what do you think? Michigan State +5 over Ohio, +5 getting versus Ohio State tonight.
I would take every dime you have and bet it on Michigan State with the points. Ohio State, we've talked about it. They're choke artists. They'll be out. It'll be one and done, like you told me yesterday.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Done.
Let's go another one tonight. We got number 24 Iowa, 2-point underdog at Michigan. Kenny.
This is tough. This is another tough one. Iowa's been sneaking up on teams, but I think Michigan's going to come out with a big home victory tonight. I think they're going to come to play. I'm going to go Michigan here on them. It's only a 2-point favorite, Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it money line, and because you're not going to lose much if Michigan was to lose. You're not going to lay much, so go Michigan on the money line so you don't get beat by that 1-point victory.
Yeah,
great move.
I'm with you. Same thing. Money line it. Don't lay to 2. I like Iowa. I mean, Iowa's another team. Listen, they could shoot the lights out, but they're on the road. Michigan, senior night. All this, with the head coach. I think Michigan comes out money line Michigan. Carson.
Yeah, again, it's going to be sick to my stomach because I hate praising Michigan, but Hunter Dickinson is a stud. As much as I don't like that team down the road, like you just said, they got issues with their coach. He's going to be back for the Big Ten tournament. next week. I think they need a big win again for their resume because they're sitting on the bubble as one of those bubble teams. I think they get it done. I go money line Michigan.
Sis.
With the way these games have been all week, and everybody with these home teams and home court and the cheerleaders and all of this stuff, this is the biggest trap game of the week. Iowa straight out.
Clams.
I mean, Michigan, they're at home and they got the better coach. Iowa was soft.
Okay.
Kurt, let me ask Carson a quick one-word response answer because he said he despises Michigan. Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau? Who do you want at number 2, Carson?
Oh, man.
Or other. Or it could be other. Aiden Hutchinson or someone else, I should ask you.
Okay. Like Joey just said, you got to build that defensive line. I'm going to go Aiden. If the Lions take Kyle Hamilton, I'm going to be disgusted. I don't want Kyle Hamilton. He's a great player, but we need a pass rusher badly. It's going to be Aiden or Kayvon.
I was just curious if you wanted Aiden as a Michigan State fan. So that was just a quick hitter. I never got to ask you that one. All right,
we got a couple. We only got 2. I'm going to go to 2 games. We got one Saturday, one Sunday. And obviously 6 o'clock on Sunday, I'll be watching it. Krzyzewski's last game in Duke. Fittingly, of course, against North Carolina. There's no way Duke's losing this game. I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, 200. Jen Hoops was telling me she read over 200 players are going to be there of his former players in that building. Cameron crazies. I'll be honest, I think North Carolina is just going to get absolutely blown out of this game. Hubert Davis does not look the part. I'm taking Duke.
How much do you lay? Because the spread ain't out yet. How much would you lay in that game?
10. 8 to 10.
So if the spread is up to 10, you're taking Duke.
Yeah, they're going to blow them out.
Okay.
Sis.
I agree.
Sis.
Yeah, it'll fix this game, obviously, so Coach K wins. And that's, again, you laugh all you want.
No, listen, you're right.
I'm not trying to be a wise guy, and I agree with Kurt. There's no way they're going to send this guy out with a losing record. So get the envelopes out early, get them to the refs in the locker room, and everything else takes care of it.
Carson.
Yeah, there's no way North Carolina loses. I'd be comfortable going up to 11-12 in this game. Like you said, there's going to be over 200-plus alumni. It's Coach K's last game at Duke. I mean, there is no way in hell Duke loses this game.
Clams.
He's going to get the daddy ball calls all day from the refs. But here's the thing I go on. Anytime there's a celebration, Old Timers Day, they retire a number. The home team gets so eye-struck and starstruck that the visitors are just chomping at the bit. I'm going to take the points because I think North Carolina is probably going to be a double-digit, 11.5 points, something in that area. Give me the Tar Heels in the worst conference in college basketball.
Woo!
Never thought I'd say that. You'd never in a million years think ACC bad conference, but it is a bad conference this year. Let me ask. That's all, Kurt. I got a quick hitter question for the 4 of you that I just thought of. North Carolina, according to Joe Lunardi, is one of his first 4 teams out, bracketology. I look at their record. To me, I look at them as right now an 8 or 9 seed. I disagree with him. They're 21-8 or 21-9, something like that, and they're on the bubble. We all got them predicted to lose, and I do too. But if North Carolina, Kurt, plays a respectful game, let's say they lose by 4 or 5 points at Duke, and then they have a strong showing in the ACC tournament, do they get in?
Yeah, I mean, who are you taking from the ACC? Wake Forest, Duke?
Well, I'm saying he has them out right now. I
mean, first off, who's Joe Lunardi? I mean, Joe Lunardi's got Xavier in. St. John's beat them twice. They're 7 and 11 in the Big East.
He's a guy who sits home and just does this for a living and just tries to make He put them on the list to
Yeah,
get people
I mean,
talking. That's all it is.
Exactly. Like he's pushing teams to get in, like with his talk. I mean,
Yeah.
Xavier should not be in that tournament right now. They're
Okay.
10th out of 12 teams in the Big East. How are they in it?
I look at North Carolina and just the name alone. If they're a top 25, 30 team, they should be in. You know, that's how I look at it. All right, well, it's just a quick hitter question.
All right, let's do. I was going to do one more game, but let's do final thoughts because we got it's 6:58, Kenny. So you go around. Who you are for final thoughts?
We'll start with Sis tonight.
Well, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the games. We know some of them will be fixed, and we know some of them won't be fixed. But that's my final thoughts.
Mr. Joey Clams.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, listen, the tournament's coming up and the conference tournaments are coming up. They're dug in right now. A lot of teams, you see what happened last Saturday. A lot of top teams lost on the road. The home teams won. The home dogs won. And everybody's like, high like on Tennessee and high on other teams that went at home. You got to watch the teams when you get to the tournament, when you play on neutral courts.
Yep.
What teams do some homework and see what teams has been good on the road. Like Kentucky's tough on the road. Look at teams like that on the road. And
good point.
And in these conferences, look for here's what I'm going to give you a little tip. A team say that plays tonight and playing a team tomorrow that had the bye, bet the team that played tomorrow in the first half, because you're going to a different gym, different bounces off the rim, the backboard's different. The people in the crowd are different. It's a different game, and it's going to be a lot of unders in the first half. Take the dogs in the first half if they play today, because they'll be juiced up playing the rest of the team in a neutral gym. That's just one of my points there. That's all I got.
And then I'll go back to Sis real quick, but let me go to you first, Joe. Give me a sleeper, because we didn't have time. We ran out of time tonight. Give me a sleeper team going into this tournament, into these tournaments.
To get to the Sweet 16?
Not just a sleeper to make a nice run, whether it's in their conference tournament or the NCAA tournament.
Murray State has got 2 buys. They're automatically going into their semifinals in their conference. I would lay 190 with Murray State to win their conference, because when they get into the semifinals, they're going to be a bigger favorite than that on the money line. And then if they get to the championship game, Murray State is a dark horse for me to get to the Sweet 16, and so is Wyoming. And I like Connecticut, and I like Houston, because Houston can rebound.
Okay. Sis, I got a sleeper for the tournaments.
Winthrop.
I'm going to go.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Kenny, another one. The Jackrabbits, baby. They shoot the 3 from right off the bus. Coming off the bus, they shoot the 3. South Dakota.
My final thoughts will be my 2 sleeper teams, and I just want to thank everybody for being on tonight. Pleasure doing the show with you guys. My one sleeper is to get to the Final Four, and that's Arkansas. I'm riding this team. They're hot. I'm going to ride this team, and I'm going to take them going far in the tournament.
Hey, Kenny, what's the name of the gym they play at?
I don't know.
The Pigsty.
And then a deep sleeper, I told Kurt this today, Creighton. Watch out for Creighton in the Big East tournament. A little sleeper there in the Big East.
The Big East tournament's wide open.
Yep. Kurt, give us your
Seton
final
Hall,
thoughts.
baby.
With
Seton
Carson.
Hall.
Kenny, you stole mine, Arkansas, and I'll be quick with this one. Even though we're all disappointed, and I know Sis mentioned it before, Alabama lost at home. I'll tell you this, Alabama beat Gonzaga this year. I think they beat Kentucky this year. Alabama in the tournament is a very good tournament team. I like their coach. Alabama.
Okay.
Carson, my boys in the Big East, fellas.
Final thoughts, and give us a sleeper or 2 in the tournaments.
Yeah, always a pleasure talking sports with you guys. And, enjoy the games this weekend. Looking forward to March Madness, obviously, in the conference tournaments next week. Few sleepers that I really like: Providence, Houston, and Illinois. I really like 3 of those teams. I think all of them could make the Sweet 16, potentially Elite 8 as well. And, like I said, enjoy the games this weekend. And, man, stay safe.
Hey, Carson, where can we find you as always? We got to get a video of you.
I'll be at the gym of the other joint, one of the 2.
if you guys like casino games, you guys can find me on my live streams on Twitch. Just search up Ticket Time and you'll find me over there. If you guys like highlight videos straight to the point, we show our wins from our Twitch streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 Eastern time.
And spoiler alert, go check it out on YouTube, guys. I watched it the other day. Carson had a hell of a big win over there. So
yeah, we
Carson,
had our biggest...
Go get Cal State Fulton tonight, baby. Send it in.
All right, I like it, Joey.
Yeah, Carson had his biggest win the other night, fellas.
I like it. Yeah, we had our biggest win the other day.
There you
on
go.
Saturday.
Congrats.
Salute.
I think that's going to do it tonight, fellas. Thank you for being on.
Wow,
Wits
hey,
and
sis didn't lead. Sis, you stood the whole show tonight. What happened?
Well, once you start talking about NBA, brother, I'm out.
But, yeah. Oh, real quick,
that's
NBA.
Like, to me, that's like talking about wrestling.
NBA, so we get rid of sis. No, all joking aside, NBA,
It's
I'll
all
talk
fake.
off the air. I'll talk off the air.
NBA and wrestling's all fake.
I think we're done, Kurt.
All right, boys. Have a good night, and we'll see you next